So I was out with my family about a week ago. We were doing the family thing. We took the kids to a place, and I'm being a dad running around with all of them being exhausted. So we're at this thing, and we run into some people that we knew, my wife knew. And we started talking, and they were catching up, and then they introduced the people to me. They were like, she was like, "This is husband." And I was like, "Hi." And then I ran off with the kids and started doing that and came back. And I guess in that time, my wife had told them what I do for a living. So if you guys don't know, hi, my name is Matt. This is Assemble, and I do wrestling content. And I have 2 YouTube channels, actually. I have this one that you're watching on right now, Assemble Wrestling, and I also have the Assemble Show, which is all WWE 2K content. And I grew the other channel to over 100,000 subscribers in 3 years, and it's been my full-time thing. And we now have this channel too, expanding it, talking more wrestling stuff. So anyways, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, full time. And when I circled back to her, the woman that she was talking with said, "Oh, you're a YouTuber." And I was like, "Yeah, it's what I do." And it's weird. It's twofold weird having this conversation. And I'm doing this video because I honestly just want to have a casual, unfiltered conversation with all of you. And maybe you're a content creator yourself in whatever medium you are doing, whether it's going to be fitness and health and music, or it's going to be finance, or it's sports, or it's wrestling, or it's whatever it is. Or you're just somebody that just consumes wrestling and WWE on a regular basis, and you're a big fan. Hence why maybe you're watching this. Not a fan of me, you're a fan of wrestling anyways. So I had the conversation with this woman, and she immediately said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a content creator, and on YouTube, I make videos and content around WWE." And the woman said, "Yeah, your wife said that. All the fake stuff?" And I went, "Yeah, yeah, I wasn't mad or anything. I was just like, yeah, it's the fake stuff." And it still kind of baffles me because to this day, you still get that. It's just interesting to me. That's not offensive. I'm not like, "How dare you?" I'm like, whatever. I'm just more fascinated by it that people's take on things is, "Oh, you watch the fake stuff?" And not only do I watch the fake stuff, I consume the fake stuff, and I make videos about the fake stuff, the video game stuff that's fake, and the show and the TV show. And I find it interesting that people still have that connotation of "Oh, it's fake." And I'm like, to me, again, everyone has their perspectives, and that's great. I don't care, but it's interesting because to me, I'm like, well, the outcomes are predetermined, but it's athleticism, and it's theater, and it's a show, and it's spectacle, and it's a rock concert, all mashed into one to give you this big experience. And it's good and it's bad, and then there's the backstage stuff and the politics and the nitty-gritty insider business of it all. For me, there's so much to like. It's kind of endless. I can kind of pick a path of an element of it that I like. I can just love the fascination of the business side of wrestling, and specifically WWE. I can love just the athleticism and the in-ring showcase of people, girls, guys going at it, fighting each other, doing crazy moves that nobody can pull off, or having these really grounded stories or really silly spectacle stories that they tell on television. It's kind of anything you want it to be, and it's kind of got a little bit of everything. And you can enjoy it from when you're a kid to when you're a grown-up, and that's why I like it. It's entertainment. It's a show, and I like seeing it. But having an interaction like that is weird on 2 counts. One is that people's perspective is still when they're so out on the outside, and I am so on the inside of this is what I do every day. It's interesting that they are still have a perspective of the thing is fake, who watches it, why do they watch it, and then the real negativity towards it. Even though WWE specifically is a global brand with millions of followers all over the place on every social platform and YouTube and all this stuff, it's massive. And that is just one person on the outside interacting with. So when I have to talk to other people about not only what I do, but also what I cover, it's still this weird thing. And it could be in the part of the world that I live in, because other people might have same experience as me, as they are on YouTube, or they're massive wrestling fans, and it doesn't phase anybody, and they're just like, oh, that's cool. But it seems to be this thing that they kind of like almost gravitate towards in terms of like, why do you like that, or why do you do that? And that's not only with just watching it and consuming it as a fan, but it's also on the YouTube side, which is the other half of all of this. It's interesting to have to explain to people what it is you do for a living, and it's surrounding this industry. I personally take it as like, what's the difference between me talking about this versus sports? If I had a football podcast or show, or baseball or whatever, what's the difference? It's just entertainment. Some channels they cover, like I love New Rock Stars, and it's Marvel and movies and superheroes, and they cover everything going on in the industry. And I'm like, what's the difference there to this? Like, to me, not much. Like, it's a form of entertainment. It's a medium that I enjoy. I've watched it since I was a kid, and I enjoy making content out of it. And I'm like, and I think I'm okay at it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I like doing it. And it provides a living for me, and my family supported. So what's the big deal? But that's the other half of this, is explaining to people that you're a content creator. It's weird. It's a weird conversation for me, like that I have with people. It's this, and it doesn't come up a lot because I'm like, I just do my thing, carry on. But when you get into situations with family, or you run into people like that know you, or you haven't seen in a long time, or friends of friends and things like that, or you're just in social situations, it's this weird thing that almost gives you anxiety, at least for me. And I find it fascinating when I have to go and have a conversation at like a dinner party or just a social thing, and you're standing around with a bunch of grown-ups, and it's like, what does Jim do? And what does Donnie do? And what does this guy? These are made up people. But what do they all do? And my wife and I will stand there and talk to people and hang out and have a good time. And then they ask, and they're like, I work in HR. And they're like, what do you do, Matt? And I'm like, I'm on YouTube. And it's like, what? And there's this weird, like, I don't know, separation of worlds. And I am so entrenched in the online space and YouTube and consuming it and watching it and knowing it in and out, because it's what I do for a living, that I don't see it differently. Like, it's a job. Like, I work here and I work for hours and I put out content and I try to do more and grow my business. And that's what I do. And again, there's 2 channels. So it's like, we're trying to grow things here and keep it sustainable, because there's children involved and a wife that likes to shop and go do things too. And we want to save and invest and go to Disney and do whatever and play with the kids. So there's responsibilities at play. But when I have the conversations with people at a social gathering and they're like, what do you do? And I tell them that I'm like, well, I make content on YouTube. Number one, it's a weird thing to have to explain to like strangers, quasi-strangers, how you introduce it. So introducing yourself is not as simple in my eyes. It's like weird, because it's like, I don't have a job where it's like, I am firefighter, I am lawyer, I work at bank, where people can instantly understand and visualize what it is you do. But when you have to explain that you're like, well, I make content on YouTube, you call it whatever you want. I'm a YouTuber, I'm a creator, I'm a content creator, I'm an influencer. It's whatever you want to call it. But that's what I do for a living. I'm an editor, I'm a videographer, podcaster, like whatever. Put a label on it. But as soon as you explain to people what it is you do, there's still this really big gap in separation in terms of people understanding what it is what YouTube is. And not only that, what WWE is, and then the two of them marry together for me, and then that's what you do. And it's so bizarre to people that they have no idea. It's fascinating to me because people seem to still look at it as this thing that lives on its own, that YouTube is this thing that lives on its own behind its own wall, that like there aren't real people behind it, or it's for kids, or it's just this other thing of entertainment, but it's kind of like not real, if that makes sense. And so when I have to explain to people what it is I do, then you get into the next question. which is what, and it's hilarious because it's what everyone asks me. I'm not joking. Everyone asks me what you do. Again, you're at the garden party and they say, what do you do? And then I explain it. And then they say, so how do you make money? And that is, I'm not joking, that is inevitably the next question I get asked. And that one bothers me. And it only bothers me because I don't ask them how much they make or how they make money. It's fascinating because it's not people being ill-intended or anything. They're curious. They're genuinely curious. But it's interesting to me because it's the next thing out of their mouth is, so how do you make money from that? And in my head, I'm like, well, this is no different than if I had a brick and mortar shop selling toothbrushes. Like I'm at a bar and I run a coffee shop or something, like whatever. Like, and if that person says, oh, I work at the auto shop, I don't say, oh, so how do you make money off of that? You know what I mean? We don't do it the other way. But maybe you've had something similar if you're somebody on YouTube and you've explained this to them. I wonder if other people go through that. At least for me, that's been my experience sometimes is, what do you do? And then how do you make money? And then I have to explain that I'm like, well, it's like there's Google and Google AdSense and there's advertising and promotions and sponsors and marketing stuff. Like there's a bunch of stuff at play here. And then it just goes over their head and they're just like, whoa. And then they're like, well, what's the show about? And they have to explain it. Some people say it's like, what's your website about? And I'm like, I don't have a website. So that's the thing. Or they say, so what is this? What is your channel about? And then I say, it's about wrestling. It's about WWE. And be like, I have two channels. One that covers the video game side of it. And one covers like just WWE in general. From news and deep diving topics and analyzing stuff and just having a lot of fun with the community. And they kind of go, oh, the fake thing. And I go, yeah. Like I have to be like, yes, the fake thing. So it's still fascinating, it's still interesting, and it's still funny to me that there is this negativity, this stigma towards wrestling still after so many years. And I don't know if you're somebody that has come across this. If you tell friends that you watch it, are you a closet wrestling fan? Is it something that you have to like put on late at night and make sure no one sees you? If your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner, whatever, they see you watching it, are you like changing the channel right away? Or do you leave it on? Are they with you and like they're your tag team partner and they're totally in on it? Like, what's your relationship with wrestling? Is it just, I just enjoy my thing, I don't give an F what other people think? Like, that's awesome. Good for you. I don't care either very much. It's just so interesting running into people in the like regular world, because my world is, you know, family, friends, and then talking to all of you. That's my world. And so talking to the lens and talking to the camera and talking people is what I do every day. And it's so interesting when people are on the outside of it that you don't interact with and you talk about it. And it kind of goes off the rails sometimes. Some people are like super curious and excited and they think it's so neat. And I'm like, yeah, it is kind of cool. But others are just like, it's fake. Why are you doing that? How do you make money? And it's interesting that it's always this negative stuff and this push towards like, why are you doing that? And my reason for doing it, and I'll leave you on this note, because this channel is newer, so a lot of people don't get familiar with like, okay, well, who is this guy? Who is this dummy? Yeah, but who is this guy talking to me about all this stuff? So Matt here had his full-time corporate job and all of that. Prior to COVID, I had a very good job. Guy was, you know, moving up and blah, blah, blah. My wife worked full-time, all of that stuff. We have 2 kids, and they're young. And so and we're out here in Canada as well. And at the time of COVID, I got let go from my corporate job where I was like permanent, full-time, health benefits, you know, wasn't going anywhere kind of deal. And I was good at it. And then I got let go. And the reason I got let go was because COVID, and they downsized like departments and like big chunk of the business anyways. So it was, all right, see you later. And I got let go. I got another job during COVID, and then I got let go of that one. So the first one, I was like really bummed out and scared and didn't know what was gonna happen. And my kids were even younger, so this is a couple years. And COVID's a blur, isn't it? It's like 20. It's like 2 years of just like I don't even know what happened. No one knows. So COVID happened, got let go, got another job, got another corporate job within my skill set, and was very excited because I got this like during COVID, and so it was like rare, right? Because everything was shut down, and this place was like hiring, and I was able to work remotely, and so I was able to be at home with my kids while they were in school and not in school because of COVID, and I was able to work online and work remotely and get paid very well, and I was excited for it, and I was enjoying the job and the people I worked with. And then 6 months later, I got let go again. And so that was my last straw. And to give you the insight here, I then turned around and said, I'm not doing this anymore. I said that to my wife, and she said, okay. And then I said, give me a couple of months so I can build up this thing on YouTube that at the time, I have the other channel, Assemble Show, and it was like at 5,000 subscribers or something at the time. And so I said, give me a couple of months. It's already, I think it was monetized at that time, but it wasn't making any money because it was part-time. It was a casual thing, and I was trying to do it on the side, and then got let go. And I told her that, hey, I'm going to do this full time. I'm going in on all of this. I want to make it. That's going to be my career because I'm sick of this, and the way you get treated and everything in between. There's no security. So I wanted to go in on me. So I did. And I did that for 2.5 years to get to this point. So the channel has been around for like 3 years and three and a half at this point. But I did about 2 years after that, like full time, post COVID, losing the jobs. And then in the last 4 months, whatever it is, we've started this channel now, and it's almost at 10,000 subscribers. And I love it. And I love talking to people, and I'm having fun. And we updated our studio from our last place, and like our last set, I should say. It's in the same house, but that's what happened. And so I get to do this full time, and I get to be fortunate enough to be with my family, with my kids, and make money and provide and talk about things that I love and edit videos and go through learning how to edit better, then just make content and learn and discovering that I really like making content. I like just making videos. I like editing videos. I like putting out content. I like figuring out how to make the next one a little bit better. I ain't very good, but I like to try that. I to make things a little bit better every day. And so when I get people that come and then they say, what do you do? You watch the fake stuff. How do you make money? And they almost dismiss what you're doing as if it doesn't count as a real job. If you are somebody that is doing YouTube, is on YouTube, looking to become a creator, looking to go from part-time to full-time creator, then, and you believe you have skill sets and you believe that you can do this and you can keep working hard at it and refine it and grow it and etc., then just do it. And I would say that, like, if it's any kind of advice, is don't worry about what anybody else thinks. It's really not worth your time. Have fun and enjoy it. And if you like doing it, then keep doing it. And if it's providing you a living and ability to do things in your life, what's the harm? Why is it a negative? I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Have a great day, guys. And if you like unfiltered videos like this, let me know in the comments. Have a great day. See you.